Damn.
आज चाहिँ हाम्रो D1 हो सो हामी सेटअप गर्दैछौँ सो त्यहाँबाट हाम्रो स्टार्ट हुन्छ अनि यता चेकअप गरेर चाहिँ मालिस गरेर चाहिँ निस्किन्छ
मेरो नाम जङ्गबहादुर वाइबा हो सिरानचोक 8 खप्टे गोमाया गुरुङको नेतृत्वमा युकेबाट नै यो हाम्रो दुर्गम गाउँ सिरानचोक 8 चिप्लेटी स्कुलको नजिकमा एउटा कम्युनिटी हल छ। यो हलमा चाहिँ शिविर चलाउनको लागि उहाँहरूले चाहिँ नि उहाँबाट यहाँ आएर हाम्रो यस्तो विकट ठाउँमा पनि यस्तो आँखा शिविर चलाएर हामीलाई मद्दत दिनुभएको खण्डमा अथवा जो आँखाको समस्या थियो त्यो उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ मद्दत पुर्याउनु भएको खण्डमा म यो स्थानीयवासीको नाताले धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। र हामीले 2075 साल पुस 2, 3, 4 यो 3 दिनको लागि आँखा शिविर चलाएको थियो। हाम्रो यस्तो दुर्गम ठाउँमा उहाँहरूले कहाँबाट कत्रो रिस्क लिएर यहाँ आएर हामीलाई यसरी सुविधा दिनुभएको खण्डमा म लगायत मेरो यो स्थानीयवासीको तर्फबाट धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। धन्यवाद।
Hello and Namaste, this is Dinesh Roka and you are watching You Inspire TV. The goal of our channel is to inspire and empower you to grow, to contribute, to follow your passion and ultimately live the life that you want. Our guest today, or guest I should say, they recently came back from Nepal having completed a project called Glasses to Gurkha where they conducted these free eye tests and also distributed some free spectacles to the villagers in Nepal in Gurkha. So we have today 3 guests actually. We got Sen Gurung, Bhabana Limbu and Miss UK Nepal 2011 Gaumaya Gurung. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, thanks for coming down. I really appreciate it. You guys travel from different location. Really appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know where to begin because it's been almost 2 years since I've done something like this. It was a long time coming, but we're finally here. Also, I'd like to mention this is the first time we've had 3 guests at one time. The maximum guest we've had was 2 guests. So I hope we can work together and make this happen. Actually, I'm really excited about the project, which we'll talk about. But before that, I would like to get to know more about you guys. And hopefully, our audience would also like to know more about you guys. So we'll start with Gaumaya Gurung. because this isn't your first time. You've actually been here before. The last time I checked, I think it was June 2016. So it's been almost, what, 3 years now?
Yeah.
Almost 3 years. Wow, time flies quick, doesn't it? So how does it feel to come back on the show again?
No, like first of all, thank you for having us. No, it's really good, and especially to be back with these guys talking about what I think we briefly talked about. What me wanting to do something in Nepal related to optometry, and to actually come back to share about what we've done. It's really good to be back. Yeah.
Okay, so tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So work-wise, I'm an optometrist. So I test eyes and we prescribe spectacles, refer patients. I love traveling, so I travel when I'm not working, and I also like to get involved with like volunteering or fundraising to be able to do my social side as well. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. So let's move on to Bhabana Limbu. We had a brief chat earlier. Tell our audience what you do, who you are.
Okay, similar to Gaumaya, I am also an optometrist, doing similar things that she does, testing eyes, giving people glasses and contact lenses. So that's my full-time job. On the side, I'm also a wife, as well as a beauty blogger. And I do love traveling as well, so that's me. And thank you so much for having all of us. So glad to be here.
It's a pleasure. And Lasma, hero go entry Lasma. So Sen Gurung, I guess it's your time to shine.
First of all, goodness, thank you for having us. I think after almost 3 months, it's great to relive what we did back in December 18, and it's great to be with the guys again. And thank you for having us. My name is Sen Gurung, but professionally, I work as a dispensing optician and a practice manager for Boots Opticians, full time. And apart from work, I like to do a lot of voluntary charity work at the same time, and I like to keep active. That's me.
Awesome. So I want to talk about the project now. Quick question: who is the mastermind behind this project?
I think the credit, obviously, big credit goes to Gaumaya.
So Gaumaya, tell us, how did this idea come about and why?
I think this is something I wanted to do mainly because it was my work, and I think previously what I'd done in Nepal was more revolving around fundraising and trying to help people, but not very specific, so anyone could be doing that, whereas I wanted it to be more specialized to what I was working towards. So I wanted to do something in the field of optometry that I studied and trained for. So I went to Ghana, Zambia, and I leaded a team in Ethiopia with Vision Aid Overseas to gain experience of how it is actually done in Africa, so we could relive that or remodel that in Nepal. So that was in 2016 when we actually talked about that as well, about Africa. So it wasn't really anything new or that I woke up with, but it was just replicating what I learned in Africa. And I contacted Bhabana Limbu and Sen and a few other Nepali optometrists and dispensing opticians, but they were like, yes, I would love to do that. So I think although it was something that I initiated, I think it was all three of us that carried it along.
Honey, why Gurkha? Like, you could have chosen any location, any place. What's about Gurkha?
I think Gurkha because it's a historical place. It's where Nepal's unification started. Also, it was the epicenter of earthquake as well. So we thought, okay, we'll focus in Gurkha. So that was one of the reasons. But also partly because that is where I'm from, and most of the projects or all of the projects I've done so far has always been scattered around like Surkhet or Zazarkot. So it's always been very far from home or where I came from. So I thought, okay, let's stick to Gurkha because of the disastrous time or moments and that the villagers went through. So I thought this will be a nice way to come back to village, to just strengthen them that people haven't forgotten their roots. So that was the reason.
It's good to see you do these sort of things every now and again, and obviously get other people involved as well. So how did you guys get involved, and what was the reaction when Gaumaya said, let's do this project?
I think I was really happy when you first contacted me because we've known each other for some time, mainly from obviously Miss UK Nepal, and then we kind of bumped into each other through like conference and things like that within optometry. But it's been, I think, a few years since we last spoke or even saw each other. But when she called me, I thought it was like a brilliant opportunity, especially for myself, because I've always wanted to do something good, like volunteering work, especially I think. Because I'm specialising into obviously optometry or just eyes in general, I want to do something specific like that, but never had the opportunity to do it. And I think something as big as organising one, that was kind of beyond my, I think beyond me, I suppose. But when she contacted me, I thought it was an excellent opportunity. So I was like, yep, I'm up for it. And the good thing was I was going to go to Nepal anyway, well, on the December when this project happened. So it kind of like fell together. So I was really glad that she contacted me, and it was around September last year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And then we just started like planning.
No, not September. I think it was probably like summer, maybe June, July. Yeah. So it was,
and then we started doing
planning
a few months of planning, and
And did you decide spontaneously, like, okay, let's do this, or did you think about it first?
I think my answer was positive to begin with, but I did say, I need to check with my family, my husband, just to make sure that they were happy with it. Especially, I haven't been back for over 10 years, Nepal. So when you try and have like a project in the middle of your Nepal visit, I had to make sure that it didn't clash with anything, but my family was really supportive, my husband was really supportive, obviously he joined as well, and we kind of like catered the rest of the visit based on the glasses to Gurkha, and made sure that we we could make it.
Sure, that's nice.
Yeah.
Sen, how did you get involved?
Like Bhabana Limbu, I haven't been to Nepal for about 11 years since I've been here. So I've always
I have to babysit them.
I've always wondered when would I go back and what kind of purpose I would take back when I go back to Nepal. And I think this was a great opportunity for me to go back with a purpose rather than just going to have fun or just for holiday rather than anything. And I think last year I met Gaumaya in Canterbury, do you remember? Around about May, June.
Really? Of course I remember.
And that's when I think I always wanted to do visiting overseas like Gaumaya, and I think we spoke about that briefly, saying how can I get involved and stuff. And I was about to get qualified last year, and I said to Gaumaya, as soon as I said, I was like, it's a no-brainer. I'll definitely get involved, but I hope I'll pass my exams. But luckily I passed my exams, and then as soon as I knew, I booked my tickets, and I was moving jobs and everything, but I said to myself, no matter what, even if I have to leave my job or whatever, I'll go.
Wow, that's some commitment.
Did you say that?
No, that's really some commitment.
But it was a great cause and purpose, a reason for me to go back Nepal and do a bit of a family visit, and at the same time take a project back. That's what I do every day. That's my bread and butter.
You must have really believed in the project.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. And what was your role within the project?
So within the project, my role was so these guys are professional, they're optometrists, so they would be in the room testing eyes. So I was more involved on the outside of the testing room. So I'll be dispensing glasses, giving advice of what the prescription based on, and then from then on, I'll be taking the prescription to do whether we've got, because we had loads of ready-made glasses, whether they can just take the ready-made glasses or whether we need to especially order them. So that's what my main role was, and then looking at the referrals from then on and do the follow-ups. Yeah.
What about you? What was your role again within the team?
Within the team, similar to Gaumaya, just doing eye tests, prescribing glasses, doing the health check, things like, I think in Nepal cataract's quite common. Second common is glaucoma, so these are the eye conditions that if we did pick up, then we would do sort of like, not necessarily referral, but give the details of the patient to the health worker who was present there. So it was primarily obviously prescribing glasses to make sure that they could read or just walk around with, and secondary was just to make them aware of the eye health side of things.
What was the main aim of the project?
I think the main aim of our project was mainly to go to a place, a village where it was affected by our earthquake. At the same time, to give the people that we see a bit of independence through a medium classes, which is what we do every single day, 5 days a week. And also, whether it could be just a very small, tiny thing, like they could read a piece of paper, they could do their daily chores. Even if we can get even if we go to Nepal and even if we can get one person to be able to do the daily chores, and I think that's where we get the greatest satisfaction from, and that's what really our main intention was. And I think because my third year's dissertation was something similar based on this, and I did the dissertation based on Nepal in terms of prevalence of blindness in a country like Nepal, and there's a very, very high prevalence of like cataracts, glaucoma. And I think for us to go there, and then although we couldn't do the surgeries, for us to find out the numbers of people who had cataracts, glaucoma, for us to prescribe glasses for them so that they can see something rather than nothing. And it was a great pleasure and a great satisfaction.
Yeah, I think Sen has covered it. I think most of the times when we think about eyesight, we think about diseases, but like more than 80% of the reason why people have poor sight can be actually corrected by spectacles, and people are not aware of that. Or there's a lot of there's a myth about if you wear glasses your vision's going to get worse, or if you think that or a lot of times what villagers would think is you're getting old and this is a part of age, rather than thinking what, a pair of glasses could make a difference. So that kind of awareness is not there. A lot of patients we saw were over 60s, and they were having their first eye test, so that was quite amusing. So I think our main aim was to give somebody that independence, like Sen said, through a medium of glasses, and how powerful can be. And I think to a very big extent we were able to achieve that.
It's funny how what you said earlier, like people think if they wear glasses their eyes will get worse. I used to believe that.
I think even here there's a misconception.
Yeah.
Misconception.
And when I was in school, I used to wear a glass. It was like, it wasn't very powerful. I don't know what the number was, but I stopped wearing it because I thought if I wear it, I would rely on it. So I stopped wearing it. But yeah, it's interesting. I hear that you guys collected or managed to, collect £2,291, something like that, through your GoFundMe page. That's really amazing, by the way. Did you guys do anything else to raise more money for the project?
I think we all were doing our own thing. I think Bhavana Didi, she through her own opticians that she works with, she had her own little box, and I think Bhavana Didi also got a lot of glasses.
So got glasses. My work, the independent optician that I work for, they supported with glasses. So mainly ready distance glasses. And also they agreed to put like a charity box in 3 of the branches that I worked, so we raised a bit of money from there. And main was obviously GoFundMe. That's how we raised it, but also we got some offline donation as well. So that's the main way I got my donation from.
I don't know with me, I actually approached the organizations that are based here that is dedicated to Gurkha, so like Chipleti Samaj or Thalazung Samaj. There was Gaumaya Gurung Samaj, Gurkhali Samaj. There was INS. There was Deorali Travel. So people who were affiliated with Gurkha or even not, So I just approached them that okay, this is what we're doing, and a lot of them, supported us. What did you do, Sen?
Because I work for Lost Multiple, I couldn't put any charity box in our reception. So we all had our own private GoFundMe page, so we can source from our close family friends. So I had my own GoFundMe page, and at the same time, lots of word of mouth, lots of phone calls, lots of texts.
Did you guys? I don't know if I'm wrong. I saw you guys were planning to do 3 Pics challenge. Did you guys manage to do that?
I think it was more you I did that. I did it, but then it was a really big group. It was 10 of us, and I think only few of us were fit. I probably came in the overlapping zone of fit unfit. So we managed to do 2 of them, but I think nearly 6 or 7 of us were injured. So the team leader was like, "Okay, guys, maybe you should reconsider." So we were obviously really upset because we really wanted to do it. But yeah, we managed to do 2. So I guess that's fine. That's okay.
It's the effort.
More like a toothpick.
I know, more like a toothpick. But I did.
But it's the intention and the effort that counts. But you did manage to raise some money through that.
Yeah, I think it was just to it was still, all of the money was still going to GoFund, but that was just to create that noise. Okay, hey, we're doing this.
Hey, we're here.
Give me attention.
So talk me through what happened once you guys came together in Gurkha, and from there on.
Should I tell about how you arrived?
What was that?
So this is what happened. So we hired this jeep, and I was so confident. We'll be fine. And what we did was we just counted the heads. So we'll be fine. And we got enough space. And then we went to pick Bhavana Didi, and we saw her luggage. We were like, and obviously her husband was there, and we realized, okay, we should be able to manage it. So somebody mati rakhe, And then Sen arrived, and then Sen also had a big luggage, and I was just like, okay, this is not gonna work. So we had to send, my mama and Diwas, who was the other team member. They had to come in a bus, and they had a really horrible experience. And there was Jung Bhai, who was a video man, our video videographer, and he had to come with Jung Bhai. And by the time they got to the village, Sen hero glasses all his
leather jacket,
he was wearing this black sleek but by the time we got to the village, that's not a very good road. I got a photo of it as well. And it was whole body was
Is it the same glasses that you brought today? The sunglasses?
Probably, yeah.
I think it's the same one.
Yeah, so that's how we met each other.
That's cool. How big was the team altogether when you were in Gurkha?
It was, I think, 10 or 12 of us.
That's a big team. So you got to the village, and what was the general reaction from the villagers? Like, Was like, who are these people? Did they knew beforehand that you guys would come in? And
I think they
yeah,
knew.
it was actually a really nice welcome that they did with fulmala, tika, and everything, kata. So we weren't expecting that. We were just there like, oh, we'll probably just like crash somewhere, wherever we can find a place. But no, we went to the community hall where we conducted the project. And yeah, they welcomed all of us with like tika and everything. They had us like warm tea. The only shocking thing, the first shocking thing for me when I got to the village was when I received the tea. I was like, oh yes, tea, Pali tea. Yeah. And then I had a tea and I was like, oh, there's no milk. But then I wasn't, for me, because milk was quite a normal thing, isn't it? Yeah. But I think in villages not quite normal, I suppose. So I was like, oh, this is different. That was quite shocking to my system, especially having tea when we got there. Yeah. But then once we got in there, they just made us feel so welcome, and not just the villagers of Chipleti Samaj, all the ladies that came and welcomed us, but also we were welcome in the school as well, with the head teachers and everyone. So it was really nice, and we just felt really welcomed.
Yeah, Didi's husband had even like suntala.
Kursani, yeah, oh my god.
On the garden, yeah. And we were like, why does he have that? Maybe because he's Gora. We were only pulling Didi's leg. But yeah, it was really nice welcome.
It was. We really loved it.
It's very nice to see. I think, especially when we made an effort to come all the way from here, and it's very nice to see the whole community, all the village, all coming together and all driving to make this cause a great success, and including the head teachers, all the teachers, and all the little kids, all the Amasamal, and it was very, very warm welcome.
Yeah, that's the nicest thing about villages in Nepal. Like everyone welcomes you, they make you feel like family, and when you do that in a city area, you don't get that sort of welcome, do you?
No,
it's not like
that.
Yeah. What sort of challenges did you face during your process of doing the eye test and handing out the glasses?
I think on first day was a little, I wouldn't really say chaos, but it was a little bit difficult. It wasn't as smooth as we would like, but bear in mind it was pretty much our first project, I think, from the fact of from Gaumaya, I think, organising it. And for me to actually go and see how it's run, it's different if you're in an optician and everything's there for you, but trying to do it in a village hall, it was setting up was fine. I think the only challenge we had was with the lighting, because obviously it needs to be, we always work in a dark room, so trying to get the room to the right light level was a bit of a challenge. But we combated that, we got through that. The next thing was a bit of a, I suppose queue management, wasn't it? That was.
It must have been a lot of people.
Yes, because we had a lot of turnout. I was quite surprised with the volume of villagers that came in for a night test, and I think
maybe people came from other villages as well.
Yeah, it was from like surrounding villages. People were coming from like 2, 3, 4 hours, wasn't it? Walking. Some came in like big buses. So I think the volume was a lot more than what we expected. But I think we tackled it. Even though it was a little bit difficult to begin with, but I think once we got into the rhythm of it, it started getting better, and then the queue management started getting better, and registration, I think we kind of had to stop slightly before to make sure that people weren't waiting on for ages. But I think it was more the fact the first day was a bit of a struggle, but I think after that second and then the third was probably absolutely fine, because I wasn't there on the third day, but yeah, second day was a lot better, wasn't it?
Nice how you guys handled the situation and the challenges. And you also said you distributed, or you conducted the eye test for 456 patients, and then you distributed around 293 spectacles, which is really incredible. What was the process like when it came to selecting the patient? Was it random, or what was the process of selecting?
The invitation for the item was for everyone. Invitation was for everyone around the area, and I think the promotion that the people in there did was really, really good. So in terms of selection, it wasn't any particular person. It was more it was open for everyone.
So anyone, like children, old people, anyone could come.
Anyone. It was open for pretty much everyone. But our intention was to make sure people who had difficulty with financial difficulties, we want to make sure that we reach out to them in a more better level.
Yeah.
And then people who can afford, we've asked them to donate some, so that the other people who can't afford them, they can help towards them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you handed out the glasses, how did you decide who to hand out? Is it people with, like, you know, with the worst kind of eyesight?
I think whoever needed it.
Yeah.
So whoever was doing the tests, so me, Gaumaya, and we had a couple of Nina and Kumada, so a couple of refractionists who helped us, and we had to decide if they needed glasses or not. So if they obviously needed glasses, then we would give them a slip and pass it over to Sen. So it depended on whether they needed it or not.
And you were there for how many days in the village?
3 days.
3 days, 4 days.
Yeah.
Then memorable 4 nights.
It must have been fun. Did you drink any local alcohol?
Oh yes.
I'm Gurung, so there's only a few selective Gurung words and sentences I know.
Yeah.
And one of the very common one I know is Pathogyatu, which means
Sen was caught doing this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everyone. Because that's only because it was a very very
the
good,
last drop of that.
it was a very close knit Gurung community.
Yeah. Don't tell me after you drank you became fluent in Gurung.
And I really wish I could, but it was a very close knit Gurung community, and they speak really good in Gurung as well, and obviously, and they kept telling me about Pathogyatu, and it was very rude for me to say no.
Yeah, right. No, I think Sen was the favorite one because we were inside and we were obviously really cautious about, okay, there's a lot of people we have to test and so on. So we were like, okay, Namaste, sometimes I think we probably wouldn't even say Namaste, we'd straight go on to like, just like, what's the problem? Right. And whereas Sen would like, Namaste, boss, and he would say Namaste even after they go. So we got told off by my mom, like, oh, the manners in China, you don't even greet. And I was like, if you greet them, you know how long it's going to take, and so on. So he was like the favorite of everyone, I think.
Very polite.
Yeah.
I wanted to end on a high. So.
Yeah. And they wouldn't want to leave, like, so we would test and we would send it to his room, and the patient wouldn't want to leave his chair because he was so nice to them. As we were like, okay, next.
You must have had some, fan club after when you were leaving.
Yeah,
please don't leave us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, nice. So, Goma, I was reading one of your social media posts, and one thing that really caught my eye was this statement. So you said, those who received the spectacles shared their joy to be able to read, to see people's faces in distance, to put a thread into the needle, and to separate rice from the chaff. This all may seem insignificant, but it was a gift of independence in its true essence. And I thought that was really touching, and really, that kind of summarized what the project was all about. Can you elaborate from your own perspective? What was that like?
Yeah, I think it's, the little things we take granted here. Like you could easily go to a high street to get eyes tested, you have this amazing selection of glasses and so forth. And sometimes, we take those kind of things or any other things in general, for granted. And when you go there and when you realize that actually, nobody in this village wears glasses and they're all like over 60s and, they're having to depend on somebody to read something for them or, to put the thread through the needle, and to actually, after 3 days of us giving that service, to be actually seeing their faces like, oh, actually I can do this, and I can read this and so on. And it's really, you really get that gush of like, oh wow, I did that one, I guess. So although it seems like, yes, we're giving that independence to them, but you also feel very empowered, and I think that was amazing as well. So it's not always that giving element to it. And yeah, it's really funny because first they've never had their eyes tested, so they'll say things like ubo, udo, or dekhnu bhacha, the sudden change of emotion from like ekdam with they're very nervous ke garna lageko malai and then this light shining on to like, oh dekhnu bhako cha dekeko cha. It's very nice feeling to be able to do that with not a lot of effort that we do every day, but taking that skill there, you're able to do that. And I think a lot of us can do that, and we underestimate what we can do back home. Okay, so Yeah, it was amazing, definitely. Yeah.
What a gift that must have been, right?
Yeah,
To be able to see clearly.
And I think Sten said that as well, like how he was very skeptical from the very beginning that, okay, you guys are testing eyes, I'm not sure what I can bring to the table. And I think Sten, mostly because he was doing the glasses part, he saw that part more than we did. And I think he came out of it saying like, oh, I didn't realize what a Superman I am.
It was great because me and Divas were there. Divas was there as well with me.
And you guys were doing that.
So we were trying to capture the emotions and the moments as much as possible in terms of taking pictures. But before taking pictures, like Gaumaya said, some of the villagers were quite nervous. But once we put the glasses on, as soon as we put the glasses on, they smile on their face, and it was just priceless. And especially when you think about someone like teachers from the school, they had prescriptions that they couldn't even see far distance very well, and you can put the glass on top of them, and the kind of reactions we got, emotions, and it was really, really amazing. And I think even after we left, there were still people talking about it, and people still using the glasses, and it's great to see that.
Yeah, I think Unal said that they did like even when we were going for dinners, they went extra mile, like, oh Unal, it's a khasi khulam, kukra khulam. They really wanted like local khulam. We were like, you can't be vegetarian, but they really wanted to go that extra mile to make us feel special. And like one of the nights, the Ama Samazara, they were singing, and us, being us, instead of like just sitting down, we were all like dancing and stuff. So it was really nice. They really wanted to show that they appreciated us, and we felt that.
Yeah, we felt very comfortable, and they looked after us really well. Yeah.
And as a result of what you guys done out there, what was the impact of this project on the people in the village?
I think apart from the glasses helping them in day-to-day life, like I actually went back for my friend's wedding in February, and I met this Bazi who we had referred him for cataract surgery, and he had his daughter who was in Kathmandu, so he had his cataract done. So he was actually showing me, and I was like, oh, you don't have to show me, but he was just really happy that we detected the cataract, and we asked him to, because sometimes they just think that, oh, I'm old and I've lost my sight. So he was seeing suddenly the colors, and the depth perception was much better, so I was really appreciating that. Like Sten was talking with Sunita Didi, who was the health assistant, and 59 people had their cataracts done by this other organization, so they didn't have to screen all the villagers again. So like the list of patients we had referred having cataract had their surgeries done, and also this mama was telling me that, oh, now the village, everybody has glasses, like the Roxy Parda Fili Pani Sukuti or Banada, they're wearing the glasses, and they're like, Molita Duita Pai and stuff, and just to know that, like Sten said, it's a lasting difference that we were able to make.
Define cataract. What's that?
I'm
not very familiar with it.
No, really. So cataract, Nepali the moti bindu bhन्छ हैन. So we've got lens in our eyes itself, and with time, as we get older, it starts getting cloudier, so it gets misty, and that causes vision to be not clear. Now, if you imagine looking through a foggy window versus clear window, so with time, cataract, let's say, everything goes foggy, and if the cataract is very dense, you pretty much become blind, and you lose your independence. You basically won't be able to do your day-to-day task itself. So it is actually in lots of underdeveloped country, it's one of the biggest cause to blindness. Not in the developed countries, because here there's treatment, but countries like Nepal, it is quite common to get blindness from it, or at least very poor sight from it. And I think just making people aware of that actually it is treatable was, I think, one of the big achievements that we had, especially with the team that went and did the cataract surgery for us. So yeah, that's cataract. Now you all know.
Dr. Sanduk, right? Like he does this incredible thing where he has cut down the cost of the cataract to a very minimal fee for the patients. So he's done an incredible job there, and that is really.
He does surgeries and stuff.
Yeah, so we obviously refract and give glasses. So he's obviously the ophthalmologist who does that. But he's done a it's like more a revolutionary one. He's not just done that in Nepal, but also in Korea and so on. The cost ekdam reduced got it, and so he's done this incredible thing in Nepal and different parts of the world. And cataract surgery, it's one of the most successful surgery. Like you know, I think first is hip replacement, but there's a lot of misconceptions about it. Like cataract, so it's a very successful surgery, and it's life changing.
Yeah, I mean, going back to obviously you said about the price, but you know how it's a lot more. Now it's a lot more cost effective in around the world. But if you compare, maybe it might be a good idea just to let everyone know what actually is the cost of it back home, and also how much it is here, so that they can kind of like think about, maybe someone can make a difference for future type of, So I think it's about $100 or something for one cataract surgery.
In Nepal, in Nepal, yeah.
So Nepal Mate, it's like that's very affordable. $100 is not a lot of money if you think about it. But if you compare it to, let's say, this country, it's about $2.5 grand per eye.
$2.5 grand.
Yeah.
So I
think Dr. Song said he's even reduced it to like crazy, kind of like $10, $20, crazy. Like he's just amazing, incredible human being.
It's such a little. I mean, $10 is pretty much nothing.
Yeah, that's almost like
I might be wrong, but he did cut the cost down to a lot.
So
Minimum.
it's a very selfless act. He could have made so much money if he chose to.
So
yes, And what was the best part or best moment of the whole experience for you? So let's start with Sen. What was the best moment for you, or best part?
I think the best moment definitely was most of the hospitality and most of the reception the kind of we received was, because it's something that I wasn't expecting, or maybe it's something you just never plan in your head, and it just suddenly you're like, wow, this is actually happening, and that whole part at the same time. And I think because I get to see the end results in a way before they leave the whole how they felt and whether their glasses helped or not, and the reactions, how the reactions we received from people, because I get to sit down with them, talk to them about how the day was and everything, and I think for me that emotions that I get from people's faces, it was the most priceless and the best moment I got.
Definitely.
And we got to capture most of them as much as possible.
Sure. For Gaumaya, what was the best part?
I think the best part, there were a lot of little best parts there for me. I think just the fact that everyone were just treated it like their own own cause and that they really felt for, and it was very, very genuine, whether it was Amasamas or the youths from the village or youths from Kathmandu who came, like my family, and since everyone really when they were just heartfelt work, and when you just look around, that energy was just amazing. Everyone just like, it was just a buzz there, and there was nobody like complaining, or there was nobody like everyone, like, it was just, I just couldn't believe like how everyone can get along so well with just that the energy around. I think that was mere, like you say, we're just like, I could do this for a long time.
Just listening to you, I could imagine like what it must have been like, everyone coming together, aligning with the same purpose, the same intention, and it's like no one's doing it to gain something, but just giving back.
Like these guys, they said they hadn't been home for 10 years, and this is then there were youths from Kathmandu, or like even age gap and them different, like there were volunteers who were like 60s, their 70s, there were Bhojmama too, and Bazi too, them young man too, so it was them variation because I came from different background and experiences. It was just like one big team.
I think when you have a team and when you have a community that believed in us, and I think that's something I thought we're gonna be there, just three of us trying to organize this whole thing, and I think when you have this team of at least 15-20 of people coming together with the same purpose, and just because they really believed in the project and believed in us, we didn't have to keep telling them what to do, and they just kind of went along with the whole plan, and that was just really amazing, and really amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I think teamwork was very I think it was good in the sense that everyone came together, and just because even us three, like, we've never really worked together before, and I think we just got on so well, and we just made it happen, and the villagers, Amazon and the whole Chipleti village people that were there, they supported us really well, looked after us really well. The hospitality was amazing, and I think I just felt, I think the satisfaction that I got was from giving them the gift of sight, making them see the world as they should be. And I think the other experience was obviously my husband.
Was that?
I think I was a little. I wouldn't say I was scared because he's quite multicultural, but I think taking someone from here to a village of Nepal.
Was it his first time?
Yeah, it was his first time, so taking him there. But I think everyone welcomed him so well and looked after him really well, and I think it was just so nice to be there and do great work for the villagers.
Yeah, it's definitely great work. To be able to give that gift to someone.
Yeah. Like when they left on the third day, they were already like, oh, Gurkha doctor, he was very adaptable there. Like whether it was the food or it was very basic accommodation to Gauma baseko, and then he would really make effort to speak Nepali, ramro cha, mitho cha, Namaste, and he would make effort to learn Nepali moves, and everybody loved him. So when they left, it was like they all were like, oh, they're gone, and we're like, I'm some still.
The final night, our final night was really fun when we did the whole singing and dancing. That was really nice. Like that probably was one of the highlights, apart from obviously the actual project itself. So yeah, it was lovely.
Nice. Obviously this was a big project for you guys, and there must have been a lot of people who helped the project directly or indirectly. Is there anyone you want to thank or mention in particular? Gaumaya?
I think there's a lot of people we owe to, and I think when we list, sometimes there's a chance that we miss people out. But I think it's mainly the organization here. I did mention like Chipleti Samaj, the Thalazung Samaj, Gurkha Gurung Samaj, Gurkha Samaj, INS, the merging networks, NRNA. So there were a lot of organizations that came together, even Deurali Travels that helped us. My friend Prapti, who made thankas, she's an artist and she did that to just fundraise for us, and that was just I was really touched by that. And we were helped by Gopi Kaka, the Umrung Samaj, my family, my mom and mama, and see these guys and Divas, there was Bhoz Mama, Zangga Chulba, Baziaru, Zongbai, and special thanks to Suku Boini. She was the main coordinator in Nepal, so she was the one who disseminated the information that the camp was happening. If she hadn't done that, we wouldn't have such a big crowd. Her brother Kumar Dai. So we had a lot of people to thank. I'm pretty sure I missed out certain people, but we couldn't have done it without their support. Not at all.
For something, a project of this magnitude, obviously you need a lot of people. You can't do it alone, and the bigger the project, the bigger the vision, the more people you need, right?
Yeah.
When I make decisions, I think about I ask myself two main questions. So not always, but most of the time when I do something, when I make some decision, I say, by making this decision, how can I grow? And secondly, by making this decision, how can I add more value to people? How can I contribute? Obviously, through this project, you've given back something to people, but I'm sure you've also grown personally yourself. So what was the one thing that you learned through the experience? Let's start with Bhabana.
I think it kind of just made me a better person. I think it feels good to give back. And I feel like I did something good. I was probably great, and I think it just made me a better person, just not being as selfish, I suppose. Because I think because we live in this, in this country, we're so blessed to be here, and we take a lot of things for granted, and even simple things like when I was doing the whole donation box things, how people were like donating money, and I was just thinking, it's probably £5 of their lunch, but some people wouldn't want to compromise, give up their lunch, but some people would give more than their lunch to go and help towards the cause itself. So I think it just made me think like how people can be quite generous, and how I think we should all be a little bit more selfless, I suppose is the word, and just give a bit more to the people that are less fortunate, because I think we all are very lucky here, and I think it just made me want to go and help out more and reach out more and use my knowledge and skills to just help them in general.
Definitely. I think that's a good goal as well. You know, like we watch news and newspapers and media, and we see a lot of hate and violence, but we don't, unless we go out and do something like this, and then we realize like actually people are really good, you know, from like if you good natured one, everyone has goodness in the heart, but we are only shown one part of the truth through the news and media. For Gaumaya yourself, what did you learn from this experience? I know you do this a lot, but I'm sure every experience brings some new insight, right?
I learned that, Andrew. I think from this experience, it was really enlightening in a sense. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself at times, because I want to get things done like correctly, or done well and so on. But what I realized was the power of teamwork when it's in sync, and how important it is to be around the right mindset or positive mindset of people. And that's what happened in Gurkha, because I was just really nervous about this whole thing. I was like, oh, is everyone going to be okay? So for me, it was like, it taught me that it's okay to just relax and lay back. And I think personally I had a really supportive partner, really supportive family and friends, and I just felt like, yes, for some time I felt like, yeah, it's okay to just relax and just let it be there. So for me, that was really nice. I could really let it be. So that is what I learned.
What did you learn?
For me, a few things. I think it made me realize that when you have a group of people and a community...
Stop copying my...
No, seriously, this is my genuine answer. But when you have, generally when you have a group of people and a community that really believes in your vision, that really gets behind you, I think that serves a great purpose, that you can really make it happen no matter how big the magnitude of the project is. And that's definitely one thing. And the second thing is a great self-reflection of myself, in a sense that when you go slightly out of your comfort zone, how far you can go in terms of doing something great for the community, and definitely that. And it's definitely something great to be doing. It's something that I do every day on a daily basis, but then something great to be doing on a community level when you go back to your own country and then speak the language and help the people in there who can speak the same language, and try to help as much as you can. And
that's nice. I agree with you 100%. And also when you talked about the comfort zone and how we are always living inside a comfort zone, and when we go outside, then we learn new things, right? I want to talk more about that, but that's a different topic for different interview. There are so many youths, people, old and young. There are so many people that want to do something like this, that want to give back to community and their the society, but they lack the motivation, the courage, the ideas. What would you say to them? Like, how would one start? How can one start?
I think a lot of times we put a lot of, like what I said earlier, a lot of pressure on ourselves that we have to make this really big impact and so on. But I don't think that's really necessary, or you have to really go out of your way. I think it can be very simple, like volunteering in local charity, or going to even in Nepal, like there's so many children homes or old age homes. You can even spending a day there. Even if it's your time, giving that time. I think time is what is very precious, and I think even giving that is important, and it can be like really baby steps, so you can start from that. And I think it's quite important for us to make most out of social media. I always have this confused feelings about it, but I think one of the biggest gift of social media otherwise I couldn't have fundraised or raised so much voice about the volunteering work I do if it wasn't for social media. I think crowdfunding is another way. Social media, you can really connect with people who are like-minded, or who are interested in similar things you are. Crowdfunding is another way, where because you do need the finance to make it work. So I think it's just about taking that shot, because a lot of times you don't realize that, because I think if you haven't done it first, I think that's the best way, because people will be amused like, oh, this person has never done it, so let me help him or her. So, whereas my mom thinks that you are so shameless, you're always asking people for money. And so if you're doing it for the first time, I think people will be very keen to help out. Okay? So I think it's just about making that step, like doing it, and then people will, believe you. But it's like, you go to a church or temple and you can't just keep praying, oh, I want to win lottery, but you have to buy the ticket, right? So that's that, just making that move, and then so
although I wouldn't recommend people to play lottery
gambling.
or anything like that. That is true.
We're talking about that, we're talking about gambling.
Is there anything coming up, new projects in the future? Well, are you planning to do this every year? Or what's going to happen?
Okay, when you said what about people who've never done it, and that's the kind of crowd we want to target next time. So we haven't, obviously we're still in talking terms. We want to collaborate with other groups or other like-minded people who do want to do something similar, but it might not just have to be about testing eyes. So we do want to target people who don't come from optical background, and I think Sten is very keen to be leading next time.
The same project.
So we're planning to do it in 2020s, but we're trying to add more activities, not just the eye camp itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So more details to come soon.
Yeah.
So I think the 2020 for us also is a very big significant year because of the big Vision 2020 year. And I think it'd be great to do something again as a team for 2020.
Is it Visit Nepal 2020
Visit
as well?
Nepal 2020
as well, yeah.
So that would be
It's a very, very big year.
2020.
So big.
That's true. How can people get involved in your upcoming project, let's say 2020? So do they contact you or how do they reach you?
We're planning to target youths through universities. So there's a group or organization we formed called Merging NEPSOC. So we're planning to go through their channel to target youths who are probably in university or not in university. So we'll be disseminating our information through that. But I think because we're still in talking terms, it's quite early days, but it's most likely going to be social media or you.
So we want to be, I think, an ongoing work, isn't it? We want to carry on doing the good work and spread the word to everyone.
We're coming towards the end now. The last question I wanted to ask was, you guys have been to Nepal. So every time you go to Nepal, do you find more connection with the place? Do you become more close? What happens when you go there?
I think the answer is yes. I mean, like I said earlier, I haven't been back. Well, I wasn't back for over 10 years. So you kind of lose a touch of your motherland, I suppose. When you're back there, you actually feel, you can smell the earth, you can smell the dhulo, I suppose. But it's a different sense of air and different sense of feeling that you get when you're actually there. You feel more connected because obviously we all grew up there, and it feels like it's your actual home. I think if you don't go as much, you will lose that touch, and I did for several years. And I think when I got back, I was like, I'm at least going to make an effort to go even every couple of years, just to make sure that I don't miss out or lose touch with our homeland itself. So that's the aim.
I think down this year as well. I went back after 11 years.
11 years.
11 years.
Wow.
And it made me realize how much of things I've missed between those 11 years. So I missed the earthquake, and I didn't get to see the whole transitions of how buildings have gone taller and how much the crowd has gone and how many traffics have built up. But in a sense, when you do go back, even after no matter 10, 20 years, you still you slightly lose a touch, but when you do land in, you suddenly feel home because you're talking the same language. You go to a certain place, you're making jokes, and you're comfortable suddenly. So definitely you lose a little bit of touch, but I think the whole experience the whole trip made me realize that I shouldn't be doing this again, in terms of keeping this big gap. So I should be going back hopefully every couple
So
of years.
you're planning to go there every year now?
Yeah, 2 years. That's it.
Every 2 years.
I would agree with them both. I think when you don't go for some time, you do feel like so much has changed. I do when I go back, I do try to travel a bit, and this time we went to Doha, and you just realize like how disconnected that place is from the central hub, from Kathmandu, and how they found their ways, with bringing the goods in from China and so forth. So you do realize like, oh my god, like there is certain parts in Nepal which is so untouched, and which needs that kind of energy or time and support from your end. So for me, every time I go, I feel like, I need to be doing this more. There's more need here. For example, when we went to Peru, there was in Machu Picchu, the place is disconnected because they want to enrich the tourism part, so so that people just use the transportation within, so that it's not connected to the to the main hub. Whereas there, that's not a choice. You are just disconnected for no reason, for this corruption and so forth. So you realize there's so much need there back home.
Definitely. Gaumaya, you travel a lot. I would love to talk more about your travel experience, but that would be for another interview. But it was really, really nice talking to you guys. Thanks for coming down and sharing your experience. I had a wonderful time, and I hope that you'll make the future project bigger and better. Good luck, all the best, and also for the audience watching, thank you for tuning in. We'll be inviting more interesting guests. Please keep tuning. For now, take care.